The air was thick with an unshakable tension at my grandson Jason's birthday celebration when my granddaughter Lily clutched my arm fiercely. "Grandpa, we need to leave, now," she urged, her voice laced with an unfamiliar panic. I was taken aback. "Why?" I asked, but her response was only a more insistent plea. Trusting her instincts proved wise as it shielded me from an unfathomable treachery Jason was plotting. You wouldn't believe the catastrophic plan he had in mind. But before we continue, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and share where you're tuning in from in the comments below. "Dad, listen, this time without jumping to conclusions." Jason stormed through my front door, bypassing the courtesy of knocking entirely. His conviction felt rehearsed, a moment no doubt practiced in the car outside. I removed my reading glasses, folding my newspaper leisurely as the leather chair creaked beneath me. "Evening to you too, son," I said, a voice carrying decades of experience dealing with contractors who promised wonders yet delivered mediocrity. "What's so pressing it can't wait for a proper greeting?" He traversed towards my bookshelf only to swivel back, gesturing animatedly. "This is it, Dad. The opportunity I've been waiting for, a real estate syndicate with guaranteed returns." I walked over to my filing cabinet, each step deliberate. His gaze clung nervously as I retrieved a manila folder labeled Jason Investments 2020-2026. "Guaranteed, you say?" I laid the documentation across my coffee table. 15% returns, perhaps even 20? Like those Miami condos that were supposedly different? I remarked, pulling out a receipt highlighting $80,000 lost when his supposed income turned into a foreclosure disaster. Jason's jaw tightened, his confident demeanor dismantled by the contents familiar to him. Bank statements, contracts, canceled checks, all chronicling his magnificent missteps. "You never trust me." His voice rose, echoing through the space. "Every attempt I make to build something, you sabotage with your negativity." I opened yet another folder. "Remember the cryptocurrency mining equipment deal that never materialized? $60,000 to a stranger you met online?" "But that was different," he protested. And yet there was more. The failed food truck endeavor burdened with a partner who was revealed to be a seasoned felon, a $35,000 loss that vanished in just 94 days. Jason grabbed his jacket, his movements sharp with anger. "You're impossible. This syndicate involves real properties and real investors." "Show me the documentation," I demanded. "I don't have it here." "Then you don't have my money." The silence bridged between us like an abyss, as Jason's shoulders drooped, then squared again defiantly. "Fine. When this venture makes millions without your involvement, don't reach out asking for a slice." He exited, his footsteps heavy, the front door closure reverberating as a testament to his frustration. I watched through the window, observing him wrestle with his keys, his earlier bravado now ghost-like and diminished. The front doors clapped shut, leaving an echo in the otherwise quiet street as Jason drove off in a huff, his earlier composure dissolved. I remained at the window long after the sounds of his engine faded, watching the shadows coalesce around the street. As I shifted through the darkening house, the emptiness closing in with each step, I headed into the kitchen where the comforting chaos of my coffee-making ritual brought some peace. Grinding the beans, measuring the water, the rhythmic drip restored the fragile silence. Afterward, in my study, I opened the filing cabinet with a quiet metallic sigh. Each folder emerged like an old adversary, reminding me of lessons Jason never learned. There was the overlooked prospectus of Miami. Sleek brochures promised pristine condos with breathtaking views of Biscayne Bay. Trevor was 35 and exuded optimism for quick riches. But the developer vanished, taking $80,000. Securely in investors' unsuspecting pockets, leaving only devastation behind. I spread out the cryptocurrency documents next. Jason had shown enthusiasm in illusionary mining farms, convinced they heralded a new age of wealth. The website vanished, along with $60,000, leaving behind a trail of empty promises. Then came the food truck debacle, initially a promising concept that soured rapidly. Jason planned on a menu featuring locally sourced ingredients positioned near downtown's hustle. The penalties of his partner's criminal past soon crumpled the venture. Embezzlement, I discovered, was just one of many marks against him, discounted by Jason as paranoia. In 94 days, it all fell apart, taking $35,000 along the way. The coffee in my mug cooled as I reviewed evidence of his casino escapades, small requests that ballooned over time. 500 here, 1,000 there, increasing steadily after his nuptials. Such folders recounted the endless loop of Jason's bright-eyed ventures crashing against the hard surface of reality. Every time, hope kindled within that perhaps this time enlightenment would strike. Yet it never did. As I finally gathered the piles of paper, each folder was slotted back into its rightful place. The filing cabinet shut with a sound of finality. Outside my window, street lamps flickered alive, illuminating the barren sidewalks. As I switched off the lamplight, leaving the study bathed in darkness, I realized that sometimes the greatest gift you could offer was saying no. Sunlight streaked through the kitchen window as the aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air. I placed the folded grocery list into my wallet. Encounters with Jason felt like distant memories now, like a storm that had come and gone. The shower had washed away the stress of the preceding night, and coffee cleared my mind. Today, I focused on routine tasks, the simple pleasures offered by errands. But as I ventured outside, my steps faltered halfway down the driveway. Something wasn't right with my car. The Honda sat unnaturally low, tilted wildly like a wounded beast. All four tires lay flat, the vehicle nearly resting on its rims. A wave of disbelief washed over me as I drew nearer to the car, something gnawing at my gut. The tires bore identical punctures near the sidewalls, each mark precise as though mapped out by a skilled saboteur. I knelt beside the front tire, tracing my finger along the source of the damage, a roofing nail lodged in the rubber, the kind I kept in the workshop for emergency fixes. Circling the vehicle, the grim pattern repeated itself on each wheel. 4 nails, 4 tires, 4 calculated acts of sabotage during the cloak of darkness spanning midnight and dawn. The sequence played out in my mind, sharply crystallizing the timeline. The previous evening's flare-up with Jason, his volatile temper, the threat he hurled about not coming back to me if his venture flourished, and now this. I reached for my phone and called Jason. He answered sleepily, his voice thick with feigned innocence. "Dad, what's wrong? It's barely 9 o'clock. Son, I awoke to find my tires. They're all flat. Each one's been punctured." There was a pause before he replied, his tone coated in false sympathy. "That's awful, Dad. Probably the neighborhood kids. You know how they act during spring break?" "All 4 tires, Jason. It's methodical vandalism. Nails driven perfectly for maximum destruction." His voice took on a hurt tonality, one honed over years of covering lies with practiced ease. "Are you suggesting I had something to do with this?" His denial seemed almost convincing, yet it echoed the same resonant lies I'd heard before, all about his misadventures, losses not uttered, and his empty pledges to turn the page. "Did you see any strange cars or anyone suspicious last night?" I inquired. "I drove straight home, Dad. Yes, we said things last night, but I'd never stoop to that level. It's vandalism. Call the police." "Should I?" I replied cautiously. Proof beyond suspect timing was elusive, and an accusation could irrevocably mar our fragile bond. "I'll handle it through insurance for the time being. Thanks for your concern." "Dad, wait. I'm truly sorry for yesterday, for everything. We both took things too far. Let's discuss this another time, son. I need to call Sepple AAA." The call ended, and I hovered by the car until the roadside assistance arrived. The mechanic assessed what I already knew. 4 expertly punctured tires, $900 in damages. After they left, I slumped onto the porch, a turkey sandwich cooling alongside me. The next day's familiar rituals washed away the prior night's tension until Jason's voice resurfaced through the phone, inviting me to his birthday dinner. Despite recent confrontations, he wanted me there amongst those closest to him. Awesome. "Dad, come to dinner tomorrow, 6 o'clock sharp. Molly called asking if Grandpa would be there. She's eager to see you." His proposal surprised me, especially after our recent tumult. Yet my granddaughter Molly's involvement stirred a protective instinct within me. She'd been the light of every gathering, untouched by her parents' financial missteps. How could I turn down her wish? "What should I bring? Anything special?" I asked. "Just yourself." Meredith's giving everything a personal touch, food, decorations, the whole lot. She's truly outdone herself this year. Skepticism gnawed as Meredith's version of all out generally meant straining their already weakened finances. But for once, it was not for me to worry. I'll be there, 6 o'clock sharp. I wrapped up the conversation, a fragile hope flaring that the event might mend the rift carved in recent weeks. Challenging as it had been since Jason's union with Meredith, a celebration could offer redemption, a chance to reconstruct the bridge between us. The following evening, a taxi dropped me off at Jason's, and I stepped onto the brick-lined walkway, a neatly wrapped package under my arm. The evening breeze carried the smell of barbecue and joyous laughter from the backyard. Through the front windows, I observed vibrant activity, more than I had expected for an intimate family gathering. Jason appeared at the door before I could knock, an expression of genuine enthusiasm lighting his face. "Dad, you're here! Come in!" He welcomed me. Inside, a wave of transformation was evident. Where the furnishings had been modest, now costly-looking decor filled every surface. Crystal glasses gleamed under a new chandelier I hadn't seen before. Through the kitchen doorway, the spread of food rivaled that of professional caterers. "Happy birthday, son," I said, handing him the gift. A finely selected tool set, a nod to something useful but thoughtful. "Hard to believe 40 has arrived." "Thanks, Dad. This means so much." His smile flickered faintly, an unreadable emotion traversing his face. "Meredith, Dad's here," he announced across the noise. She emerged from the kitchen, her outfit more befitting a gala than a family dinner. The dress must cost more than many people's monthly upkeep. "Glenn, wonderful that you could join us. Let me introduce you around." Young professionals filled the living room, strangers with wine glasses discussing careers and investments. Molly broke through the throng, her hug engulfing me with the evening's first authentic sentiment. "I'm glad you came, Grandpa. Wouldn't miss it for the world. How's college keeping you?" "Finals next week, but I'm managing. Can I get you something? Dad stocked your favorite drink." Jason materialized beside us with an imported bottle I identified from exclusive dining venues. "Remember this, Dad? You ordered it at that place in Seattle last year." I accepted, touched by the gesture. Maybe his invite had been sincere. Perhaps the tire episode was indeed random mischief, and my suspicion hasty. The night unfolded with unexpected warmth. Jason's associates warmly involved me in their conversations, showing interest in the construction business. Meredith balanced my drink, always by my side when the glass emptied, a bright smile never far from her lips. "This is quite a celebration," I observed over dinner, gesturing at the sumptuous array. "Must have been a significant expenditure." "Meredith's been saving for months. She wanted it to be special." Jason's words seemed dismissive, lacking the tone one usually finds genuine. Numbers fluttered through my head. The food and drink alone must have been a small fortune, not to mention the decor and elegant new furniture. How could they afford such extravagance when, just recently, Jason sought investment capital from me? "Another Cabernet, Glenn," Meredith offered, bringing a bottle of impressive vintage. "This pairs excellently with the roast." I nodded, the alcohol dulling my unease. Contradictions faded as the family spirit enveloped us all. Molly chatted beside me, her tales of college captivating, a delightful reminder of life's simple joys. Jason rose for a toast, raising his glass dramatically. "To family, second chances, and futures." Everyone raised their glasses. The wine slid down easily, its richness rivaled by few occasions. As the hours passed, I found solace. My earlier suspicions about the tire incident sliding from focus, irrelevant in the face of the evening's conviviality. Yet despite the pleasantries, an undercurrent kept gnawing. Jason frequently checked his watch while Meredith's smiles never quite reached her eyes. As I glanced about, their covert exchanges underscored something hidden beneath the surface. As the third hour unfolded, the party showed no sign of dwindling. I settled into a plush leather chair that seemed foreign from previous visits, watching the animated scenes unfold around me. The wine's warmth had left me easy. Trevor's insistence on a detailed tour of their luxury-styled upstairs drew my attention. "Dad, why don't you check out our upstairs renovations?" he proposed. Another drink thrust towards me. "Now? Aren't you busy with guests?" "They're content. You really should see what we've done." His persistence seemed misplaced, Yet before I responded, Meredith appeared on my other side with equal insistence. "Oh, Glenn, you must see the new bathroom fixtures. We spared no expense." There it was again, that phrase, resonating from those claiming they couldn't meet their needs without me. As I started to rise, Molly suddenly appeared, paling and gripping my arm with unexpected urgency. "Grandpa, you have to leave, now!" she hissed, her face laced with a terror I hadn't seen. "Woo, what?" I stammered, certain I'd misheard. "Please," she pleaded, her urgency cutting through the wine-induced haze. "Something's not right, trust me." Jason stepped closer, keeping his exterior calm. "Molly, what are you doing? Grandpa's about to see the renovations." "No, he's not," she said, her grip uneasing. "Grandpa, you need to go home." Concern from Molly, whose fear was a rarity, sobered me instantly. Sensing her urgency, I rose, brushing aside Jason and Meredith's attempts to soothe my rapidly building alarm. "I guess I'll take her advice. I should go, it's late." "Dad, stop being ridiculous. The party's hardly begun." Jason's facade finally cracked under the pressure. "We'll celebrate another time." "Thanks, anyhow," I said, moving towards the door, conscious of Trevor's attempt to detain me further. "One last drink," he persisted. "It's special. Another night, son." I took steps away, hearing their hasty whispers burning in the background. Crossing the threshold, the night's chill met my face, clearing any residual fog and leaving clarity. Reaching for my phone, the need to call a taxi was urgent. Inside, I saw Molly watch me leave, her face reflecting a mix of relief and anxiety. I trusted her, fully sure that whatever threat lingered had been averted, but not wholly sure the ordeal was over. As the taxi arrived and pulled away, something told me I'd need to reach out and discover the truth soon. In the taxi, I fumbled with my phone, determined to speak with Molly and uncover what lay behind her ominous warning. My hands were still, a mixture of steadiness and adrenaline-fueled resolve. As we moved under the street lamps casting long shadows on the road, I dialed her number, hoping she could speak safely. "Grandpa?" Her voice was urgent, tinged with worry. "Are you okay? Did you get away safely?" "I'm heading home in a cab, but I need to understand what happened tonight. What were you warning me about? Why did I need to leave?" There was a long pause, during which I could hear muffled noises, the sound of the party, then a door slamming, cutting off the chaos behind her. "Last night, I overheard a conversation," she began, her voice a whisper. "Mom and Dad, they were planning something to do with you during the party." "What kind of something?" "They wanted—" She hesitated, the weight of the revelation clear in her voice. "They wanted to get you drunk and have you sign documents. Something about transferring the business to Dad." The words felt like a physical blow, the gravity of betrayal settling heavily upon me. "Are you absolutely sure? This is serious." "Grandpa, I heard them talking. There were lawyers upstairs waiting. Mom was making sure you were having enough wine. Dad planned for it right after your argument this week." The puzzle pieces fit together with a sickening clarity. The lavish party, the constant drink offers, Jason's insistent attempts to lure me to see the new renovations. "Molly, how much did you hear about their plan?" "Enough to know they needed you to sign papers. Mom said you were being selfish with your money, that the only way to help Dad was to use your assets," she continued, her voice wrought with the trauma of what she'd witnessed. Their casual words stung, the way they'd reduced me to an obstacle to be cleverly outmaneuvered rather than someone to learn from. "Molly, promise me you won't breathe a word of this to them. If they get wind of your warning, it could be catastrophic for you as well." "They didn't say anything to me about tonight. Dad just asked why I urged you to leave and I gave a story about it being unsafe at night. They believed I didn't know specifics." "That's good," I affirmed, relief mingling with the pervasive unease. "You did the right thing tonight, and you've been a beacon of trust in this family when I needed it most." We neared my street, my house coming into view. "I've got to go, sweetie, but thank you. We'll get through this. Call me if you need to talk." "Okay. I love you, Grandpa." "I love you too, Molly. And remember, if you need help or feel scared, reach out immediately." With the call ended, one vow echoed repeatedly in my mind. This betrayal wouldn't stand unanswered. The taxi drew into my driveway as I fished for my keys. The familiar comforts of home couldn't mask the stark reality. The structure was not just a home, but my fortress against the very threat my son posed. Evening, Glenn. Late getting back home, eh? Mrs. Henderson's voice floated over, calm as ever, from her neighboring porch. Yes, Dorothy, just coming from Jason's. I see you've got your car fixed. Can't say I don't admire the new tires. Turning back from the car, I faced her. What makes you mention that? She paused, seated in her wicker chair as she had for years. Wasn't certain if I should bring this to you, but Tuesday night, I saw something when I was sitting out here. Her words sent a chill through me that had nothing to do with the night air. Tell me what you saw, Dorothy. I didn't mean to intrude, Glenn, but I saw Jason by your car around 9:30. He was walking about it and did something to the wheels. Seemed like he carried something in his hand. He seemed mighty careful about whether anyone was onto him. Her account was a sledgehammer blow of revelation. My own son, implicated in this petty, vindictive act, wasn't some random vandal, but calculated retribution. You're sure it was Jason? I asked, my heart aching at the unpleasant certainty. I've known him since he was knee-high. It was him. Plus, I heard the argument you two had, Glenn. Carrying voices on a quiet night, you know. Dorothy's inadvertent vigilance unveiled a grievous truth. A truth that revealed Jason's capacity for not only betrayal, but for anger as wicked and untamed as the tire tracks he'd left. Thank you, Dorothy, I replied, grappling with newfound resolve. You've been a good neighbor, truthful witness. Left alone with my thoughts stepping past the threshold of my house, the previously innocuous semblance of my home now seemed imbued with an air of siege. Each step I took resonated with the burden of knowing my own child had crossed an uncrossable line.